Truth be told, I have been knowing about this announcement for quite a while, but now the whole Wiffs world knows, so it's as good a time as ever to discuss it on the channel. So, that's what we're doing today. In this Wiffle Statement, we are covering the 603 All-Stars massive rebuild. Let's get into it.
Get up! Yeah! Let's go! Let away, Robbie! Fucking great at that! Both sides, good battle! It's over when we say it! Come on! Let's go!
The 603 All-Stars are one of the longest running and well-decorated wiffle ball franchises of all time. The team has been around for over 20 years and has played in some of the most famous events in the sport's history. The early groundwork for the team was laid all the way back in 1998, when Gary Lavoie began bringing teams to compete at Summer Showdown tournaments. As the years moved by, the team became one of the biggest powerhouses the East Coast has ever seen, with mainstay players such as Rob Donahue, Pat Leahy, John Hickey, and the aforementioned Lavoie. The team was absolutely electric. To give you an idea, here are a few of their accolades that the team achieved over what I consider to be their prime run of years. Safe to say, if you wanted to win a championship back in the day, you had to go through 603 first. In 2016, 603 lost to Black Dog Country Club in the GSWL draft tournament. After this defeat, the team went on hiatus for about 3 years and didn't resurface until the 2020 United Wiffle Ball National Championship Tournament, where the team, well, man, I consider this tournament to be the classic 603's last dance, and what a dance it was. After being out of Wiffs for 3 years, 603 came into this tournament showing why they're one of the best teams to ever do it. And no game displayed that quite better than their matchup under the lights against Sueño, a game I had the pleasure of watching and filming. .603 would win a 1-0 pitcher's duel thanks to an incredible performance by Pat Leahy on the rubber. Pat was lights out that entire day for 603, pitching 15 innings, only giving up 3 hits and 0 runs. As you may know, the team's run in the tournament ended on Sunday by the bat of Cam Smith, who walked off the round of 16 game to eliminate 603. However, 603 did enter the 2021 NCT, but with a much different look to the roster this time around. The team had added youth with 2 additions who had been playing with the team at ECW and GSWL during the regular season the past 2 years. These players were young flamethrowers Jeff Lopes and Adam Briggio. Now, that little history recap brings us to earlier this week in the year 2022, where the franchise announced a massive shift for the future. Longtime captain Gary Lavoie has stepped back from the franchise as a player and into a front office role. In addition to this, the team has more or less merged with the High Rollers and the Wiffleaholics. The electric duo of Dan Haverty and Mike Toohey will be joining the main 603 roster, along with Adam Briggio, Jeff Lopes, and Rob Donahue. Dons will now be the only remaining original player on the active roster. Gary Lavoie will join Ryan Noter as front office members for 603, and they will play on the subsidiary team, the Wiffleaholics, which will most likely feature some other players that might make the main 603 roster in the future. It is a wild merger, to say the least, that surprised a lot of people, and for someone like me who grew up watching the original 603 team, this does bring a slight tear to my eye realizing that the game is moving on and so is the franchise. On the other hand, I think it's great to see that 603 is moving the franchise into its third decade of operation, perhaps stronger than ever, and most certainly ready to keep that 603 name alive on the East Coast. This 5-man roster is beyond stacked. I think Adam Riggio and Jeff Lopes have proven themselves to be very talented players who are in a spot to be the next big superstars of the game. Plus, they have been on the 603 franchise for 2 years now, and have certainly earned the respect of the team. In addition to them, the other duo of Habs and Tui is lightning in a bottle. Tui is still one of the best flamethrowers in the country, and the energy and talent he and Habs bring to the table together is nothing short of incredible. Sandwiched in between, we have Dawns, who offers a spectacular bat at the plate, a reliable pitching arm, and perhaps most importantly, some of the best experience and leadership in Wiffs today. Besides this, he is also probably the most consistent and active player out of the original 603 roster, so it makes sense that he is staying on the team to round out the squad. The 5-man roster is finalized, and 603 is set to move into the rest of the decade as a powerhouse, and they'll look to make that statement come to fruition starting in 2022. This is the first roster to be officially announced for the 2022 United Wiffle Ball National Championship Tournament, and if you're like me, it's got to have you feeling hyped for the showdown to come in October. And there you have it, fellas, my recap of the huge rebuild that 603 unveiled this week. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was a fun one for me to make, kind of covering the history of a team that really got me into the game way back when. If you would like to follow the squad yourself moving forward this season, I've linked their Instagram and Twitch down below, so be sure to go check them out. As for myself, my name is Ben and I run Wiffle Statement, your home for top tier content covering whiffs from across the country. You can subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Twitter. Trust me, you will not regret it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Get out there and play some whiffs, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Goodbye.